Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I will be doing a review of the Razer Blade 15. Now, if you don't know, I got the Blade 15 about a month ago, and so far I've been pretty pleased with it. And frankly, I think it's one of the best 15-inch gaming laptops that you could probably get on the market at the moment. It has the combined aspects of aesthetics, power, and also at the same time good value. Now, obviously, depending on what price range you're aiming at, this laptop may not be for you. And first of all, this is a pretty premium laptop. It costs the base model costs about 14,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is approximately about 1,700 US dollars, which is quite a lot of money to fork out for a laptop. But in my opinion, I'm happy with it, I'm satisfied, and I have no regrets getting this laptop. Now, first of all, I want to go over the performance, which I think a lot of people care about. The performance, in my opinion, has not been a problem. It is a fantastic laptop, and in my opinion, for its price, it runs pretty well. I can get around 3044 frames while recording a 1080p video, and that's on a decently high bitrate setting. So pretty much I can get good quality footage while gaming with this Blade 15. And it can also play other demanding games, like you can play Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you can play GTA 5 at pretty much max settings. Like, when you have this laptop, there's not much that you will worry about it not being able to run, compared to if you're using a MacBook. It would pretty much struggle with every game that you want to throw at it, except for probably Roblox. Moving on to the screen. I think the color accuracy on this laptop is very good. The refresh rate is buttery smooth. The brightness is good for me, except one complaint I have is maybe it could be a bit brighter, especially, let's say, if you're working in an outdoor space. This laptop would have a little bit of problems because, well, when you're outdoors, it's a lot harder to see the screen and you will need to turn the brightness up. And even when I'm sitting at a window where the light is like reflecting onto the computer, sometimes it gets hard to see things, which I do find is a problem. Now, obviously, a lot of other laptops do suffer from this problem as well. Well, I am being a little nitpicky, but that should not be something to worry you. It is still a pretty good laptop. It's still a very solid laptop that you should pick up. Moving on to, well, what I think was one of the main factors of my decision to get this thing is probably the trackpad. Now, being from someone who came from using a MacBook, and since I'm going to be running this as my daily use laptop, I find that this trackpad is very, very on par with the MacBook trackpad, which, if you don't know, I would probably rank that as the #1 trackpad out of all laptops in the world. And although, as you might know, I am not the biggest fan of Apple, as they pretty much like to scam you at every corner they probably can, I'm not one to complain about the trackpad, because their trackpad is so smooth and so easy to click on. Now, Razer Blades is already one of the best, in my opinion, when it comes to Windows laptops. Now, most Windows laptops, they have pretty ass trackpads. Now, my dad has a ThinkPad, and let me tell you, when I was using it, it was impossible to click with. Coming from using a Mac, at least, it was so hard to click with it. The scrolling was not smooth whatsoever, and I just didn't really like it at all. However, compared to the Razer Blade, and let's say I swipe screens, it's just so smooth, and it works so well. And, like, you can swipe up, Windows gestures work perfectly. Now, obviously, it's not as good as a MacBook would be, but in my opinion, it's really very good. Now, onto the battery life. Whenever you have a laptop, your goal is to be able to use it for as long as possible without charging it. Especially if you have a long haul flight, where this laptop's power adapter probably will not be able to be used. you will have problems because this laptop's battery only lasts about 3 to 4 hours at maximum, and typically around 2 to 3 hours. If you're browsing the web, reading some articles, or using like Google Docs, and don't even bring up gaming. If you game on this thing, it's gonna die in like 5 minutes, and I'm not even kidding. Without your charger plugged in, do not game on this thing. It can't even handle Minecraft. It's because if you didn't know, a lot of the graphics power comes when you have the charger plugged in. So if you want to game on this thing, always have your charger in. Now, the keyboard works well as well. I'm not sure how well you can hear this, but this is how it sounds. Obviously, it's not a tactile keyboard, although there is a model of that. I don't think they do these tactile keyboards anymore. But as you can see, it works very well. And sounds good, isn't too loud. This is a trackpad click. Now obviously Apple's one is a lot easier, but you can also always tap with this. You can double click with this. Just in general, it's good. And I think the keyboard isn't a problem, especially since they fixed the right shift on this year's model. I don't know if you guys can see, but right there, this boy is long as hell. So I think it's pretty good in terms of the keyboard, and in terms of sound quality, I think the speaker quality is decent as well. Now let me just play one of my own videos and let's see how good the sound quality is. Now obviously my videos don't exactly have the best sound quality, but well, let's see. Now, many want to learn how to get to champions in arena, and while mechanics and being able to rotate is a crucial part of that, one of the most underrated parts is getting a good drop spot. Now, a lot of people that I know, they just go online and they search for a drop spot, which is perfectly fine, but the problem with that is once. Now, as you can see, the audio is decently good for a laptop. Now, obviously, I don't think it comes as close as it could have in terms of, let's say, against like the GS66 or the MacBook Pro. But it's still pretty good. I would say maybe the sound could be richer, as it sounds a little like hollow-ish right now. But I don't think that's too big of an issue, because in my opinion, unless you really don't care about the people around you, you would probably wear headphones or earphones. So, and the audio chip in this thing is pretty good as well. Like when I use my headphones, I never have a problem with the sound quality. And yeah, and also if you're wondering, I don't think you can actually go into the BIOS. Well, no, you can go into BIOS in this one. But I don't think you can actually undervolt anything. You can't change anything in the BIOS this year's model, which I do find a little bit of a bummer, because I could probably have had maybe undervolted the GPU or the CPU to increase my battery life, but I don't think that's an option. In terms of a storage space, with the model I got, I have 500 gigabytes of storage space. Now that's plenty, and I store all my videos and whatnot on my SSD, because I usually delete my videos after I'm done using them anyways to save space. But yeah, if I have any offer like extra games or like videos I want to keep, I would usually put them on my external hard drive, which is 2 terabytes, and at laptop speed, which is 5,400 RPM. Now, if you are doing content creating like I am on the Razer Blade and you don't have a PC, I would highly recommend getting one of those, because they are extremely helpful. Shout out to my piano teacher Simon for helping me get those for my birthday. It was a massive help for me because, as you know, videos take up a lot of space, and yeah, it would pretty much suck if I didn't have it because I would run out of space. Now, on to the next topic, which I think you should which I should address. This laptop does run pretty hot, and like when I mean pretty hot, I would say it's probably hot enough to cook an egg.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
When it's running at full load, well, like especially when I'm gaming and recording at the same time, it becomes really hot. So I think it's about 70 to 75 degrees most of the times. And not that I'm saying this cooling system is bad, but with 2060 or even above, like a 2080, like in the base model, well, in the advanced model they have a vapor chamber, but in the base model they only have basic heat pipes. So I would definitely recommend getting a laptop cooler. And I'm probably going to get one maybe this Christmas or something. And I think that would help quite a lot. In terms of the Wi-Fi chip, which I think is pretty important, the Wi-Fi runs very well. It's Wi-Fi 6 compatible. And I basically have Ethernet level good Wi-Fi on this thing. And if you want, there's also the option for Ethernet. Now let me show you guys the ports. Now, as you can see right here, there's the one on the really left is the power. The one next to it is the Ethernet cable, USB Type A, and then the USB-C, and then the headphone hybrid jack. Now, on the other side, as you can see, there's the Kensington lock. 2 USB Type A, and I think another USB Type C right there, and an HDMI port, which would be helpful if you had another monitor. And that's about it for the ports. I think that's plenty enough. Let's say you have a mouse, you have an external hard drive, and a keyboard. That would probably take up most of it, but if you have a laptop cooler, then there would probably be a few more ports there if you actually wanted to have like a USB mic plugged in as well. There's no problem there. If you're wondering why there's an AMD sticker here, I stuck that on from the PC I built for my little brother. Now, the lighting isn't too big of a problem as well. It's per zone RGB, so it isn't like perky. So if you can see, I'm pretty sure this is max brightness. Yeah, it's pretty bright, and it actually can be in sync with your game. Like let's say I'm dancing in Fortnite, it will sync with the beat of the music, and it creates a pretty cool effect. Now with the Razer Chroma, it also follows with the mouse, so the keyboard and the mouse have the same lighting at the exact same time, which I think is pretty neat. Now the overall design I think is pretty nice. It's a very clean and minimalistic design. Like besides the green snake logo on the top, and the like USB ports, I think it's a pretty clean design. The edges are rounded, the shape looks clean, and I don't really have much else to say. Now in terms of one-handability, which I see a lot of other YouTubers bring this up, so you can see I'm holding my camera in one hand, and I open it with another. And it opens up nice and good. Now, about how much the screen can probably tilt. Here. So, I honestly don't really see any further use of you pushing it further down. But that's a pretty good angle in my opinion. And the hinge is also pretty stiff as well, so that's dope. So, in terms of now, to lead up to the final conclusion, should you get the Razer Blade 15? Now, as I've said earlier, it really depends on, first of all, your budget and your usage. First of all, if you aren't traveling a lot, or like going overseas, why are you watching this video? No, I'm kidding. Please watch it and like and subscribe if it's helped. If you aren't, just build a PC if you have a desk. Or, desks aren't even that expensive these days. Just invest some money in the desk. If you can buy a laptop like this, if you're considering it, you might as well get a PC and desk if you have the money. Now, but if you're someone who's traveling a lot and you have a tight budget, I would probably go for a cheaper laptop. Probably maybe the Asus, pretty sure it's the G14. If you don't need a webcam, yeah. So if you don't need a webcam, G14 is a solid pick. Good processor, decent graphics, 120 Hz refresh rate. I think that's well enough for a laptop. And you can also get the Asus Toughbook, which also has pretty good specs, pretty cheap, but obviously it's not as light and does not look as good as the Razer Blade 15. And there's also a lot of other options like the Lenovo Legion. There's a lot of stuff that you could get that outperforms the Razer Blade 15. For example, if you have maybe an extra $200 or like $200 to $300, pick up the GS66. That thing has a 99.9 watt hour battery, and in my opinion, it's just a really good pick. It has a refresh rate of 240 Hz, 1 TB of NVMe storage, 16 GB of 3200 MHz RAM, minimum of, I'm pretty sure, i7 10900HK. I'm remembering these things off my head, so yeah. And it has a 2070 in the base model, and I'm pretty sure it goes up to a 2080 Super Max Q. So yeah, in my opinion, if you have money, go for the GS66, because that thing is hell of a gaming laptop. So, and if you're just going for productivity, then I'd say maybe get a MacBook. And that probably leaves you guys wondering, why should you get a Razer Blade 15? Now, in my opinion, the reason to get the Razer Blade 15 would be, well, first of all, that it has a very clean and minimalistic design. A lot of the other laptops, they just look very unpremium. They don't look very nice. Now, obviously, the more expensive ones like the GS66 and Lenovo Legion, those look very dope. And if you're just trying to do some productive work, they might not necessarily be the best for you. And in terms of aesthetics, I'm pretty sure Razer takes the cake. Now, what else should you get the Razer Blade 15 for? If you already have a lot of other Razer accessories, getting the Blade 15 will help you have more brand consistency. And that could help in terms of being more compatible. Like Razer Chroma, well, Razer Synapse would work better when you have a Razer Blade laptop compared to if you had something like a GS66. And second of all, this thing's pretty light. It's about 5 pounds, so like 2.5 kg. It's not very heavy, and it's comfortable to use. It's comfortable to put in your lap, and it's not very loud. And compared to the GS66, it doesn't get as hot. And the color accuracy is very good as well. So if you're a content creator and you're editing videos and photos, that would be great for you. And that's probably about it for the reasons you should get the Razer Blade 15. Now also the price is pretty good as well. It's not as expensive as the GS66. For its price point, I'm pretty sure it stands king. Well, there's nothing really contesting it. It's very good for productivity, packs great power, good color accuracy, decent battery life, though it could be improved on, good keyboard, good audio, good trackpad, and a good webcam. And that would probably wrap it up for this review. I've been using it for 1 month and I've had no problems with it, except for the battery life. And I've loved it so far. And hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully this video helped you. And that'll be it for me today. Peace out.